Welcome to Community Corner. My name is DeWitt Taylor.
Hello, my name is Aaron County Castle.
Hello, welcome to Community Corner. My name is Mr. Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Welcome to Community Corner, and we have a guest here today. He teaches the field classes, and it's so kind and helpful to us. He's been a mentor. He has a lot of hobbies, and he has labels of cars. Please welcome our boss, Joe Johnson.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome to this program, my friend. Welcome to the show.
After seeing you guys do 20-plus episodes, it's nice to finally come on as a guest. I've been looking forward to this.
Joe, welcome.
Joe, please share some details about you growing up.
Growing up, I was born in San Diego, but I don't remember much of it because my family came here to Michigan when I was just a baby. I grew up in Hamtramck. Went to Hamtramck High School and got started in video production while living and growing up in Hamtramck. I grew up without a father. My mother, who was from Spain, raised me and my two sisters and my brother in Hamtramck, and here I am now.
Aaron?
Thank you, Dan. How did you reach your career choice?
It's one of those things where it didn't really seem like a choice. It felt more like video production chose me. When I was in high school, I really didn't have a good idea of what I wanted to do for a career. Just like I try to mentor people here, I myself had a mentor. Donna Learmont ran a studio like this one in Hamtramck, and she came to my high school yearbook class one day and said, "How would you guys like to learn how to produce a school newscast?" And I said, "Sure, sounds like fun." So she put me through the training of how to learn video production. For some reason, I wound up being the director and the writer and the editor and everything, and did all the interviews. And I was producing our high school news program on a regular basis, and she was impressed. Donna was impressed with what I did, and she was the first person to hire me as an intern, and that began my career in video production.
Oh, cool. Ryan?
Thank you. Hello, Joe. When and how did you get started in video work?
Well, like I said, my mentor Donna got me started. She hired me as an intern, and she also gave me my first lead on my first full-time job, which was with the city of Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights is a beautiful TV department where they do local news and they interview council people and stuff like that. And I worked for the city of Sterling Heights for a total of 6 years. And so Donna not only got me into video production and gave me my first job, but she gave me the tip to get started in my first full-time job as well. So I'm really grateful to her.
David, a question for Joe?
How long have you been working at Community Media Network, and why?
Well, after working at several TV studios like this, after Sterling Heights, I ran a studio in Lake Orion, where I live now. I ran that studio for about 8 years. And then I lost my job, and I found myself unemployed in the year 2000. And I got a call from the executive director at the time. Her name was Marlo Carver, and she called me up out of the blue and said, "How would you like to come on board to CMN?" And I said, "Well, I'm unemployed. I don't have much choice." So I took the job, and gosh, it's hard to believe it's been 9 years that I've been here with CMN now. It goes by really, really fast.
To me, I need you. Guys, applause for him. And
Thanks. It goes by fast because I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy it. 9 years. Yeah.
9 years. That's good.
Aaron?
Ask away.
Thanks. Has your job changed over the years? And if so, why?
The basic job, what's interesting about this job, it's never the same day twice. There's always something going on. But ever since I was 18, 19 years old, I was teaching video production classes, producing community programming and things like that. And those are some of my main job duties today here at CMN. I really enjoy teaching the classes. I've taught as many as 4 classes per week because there's been such a interest in it here at CMN. But in addition to teaching the classes, I produce programs and do outreach and PR and things like that for CMN. So I have a lot of responsibilities, but over the course of 25 years, it's been a lot of the same thing, teaching classes and producing programs, which is what I love to do.
Orion?
Thank you, Aaron. Now, Joe, how can anyone get involved in Community Media Network?
Well, we open our doors to the community. That's why we are known as public access. There's government access, which is City Hall produced program. There's school educational access, which creates programs for students and faculty and stuff like that. We are public access. We open our doors to anyone who's interested in either learning video production as a hobby or maybe pursuing it as a career. And the number one step would be to sign up for our video production workshops. Traditionally, we've offered 3 workshops a year. This is the first year in a long time we're going to be offering 4 workshops in 1 year. And on average, the classes usually last about 10 weeks. Upon completion of the 10-week workshop, that's your foot in the door. That gives you access to our equipment and facilities and to be able to produce programs like this one the folks at home are watching right now. You guys went through the training. I hope you guys had a good time and enjoyed that as well.
I did. I loved it because I love doing this. It's great fun. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When you come here, it is a great place to come. I love this place. This show has made me really realize that someday local 4 may be my dream job someday. One never knows.
Me too, because I'm thinking of doing my own TV show here someday.
Me too.
Right. Well, you guys got this one going, and people are always complimenting it. People are watching it at home. I think you guys have told me that you've been recognized by people who've seen you on television. That makes me feel great. That makes me, to have the power here to allow you guys to do this, it's a great feeling.
Now, I have a hard question to ask you, Joe. After someone getting fouled, what do they do to develop a show plan and why?
Well, once the 10-week workshop comes to an end, and that's where we try to teach all the basics of video production, it's up to each individual to decide what they want to do with these new skills. Unfortunately, some people we never see again. They just had fun going through the workshop and then they disappear. But there are a handful of people who want that dream of producing a program on a regular basis. Once the workshop is done, it's a matter of making the reservations, reserving the studio and the equipment, gathering together a crew to come in and help out. So the hard part is getting through that 10-week workshop. Once you're done with that, then we're here to help you get that program up and going. And the first step is to have an idea. And if you need help developing that idea, our CMN staff here is here to help you develop that idea and make it a reality.
Thanks, Aaron. What kinds of programs can I produce at CMN?
We get such a wide variety. I love hearing the ideas that people come up with. Almost anything goes. There are very few restrictions or limitations as to what our producers can produce. We get everything from talk shows like this to cooking shows to entertainment. We bring bands. We've had instructional dance programs taped here in the studio. But it's not just limited to what you can do here in the studio. We have equipment that can go out into the community and cover events in the community. We have portable studios to tape sporting events, concerts, choirs, dance recitals, you name it. All you need is an idea, and we'll help you develop that idea.
Ryan?
Thank you, Mr. Castle. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Thank you, gentlemen. So, now, besides training producers, what are your other responsibilities here at CMN?
Well, training is number one, and that's probably the part of the job that I enjoy most is training. I've developed the curriculum. I've come up with all the training material that we hand out at the class, and I pretty much know everybody that's on our volunteer list because they've all passed through me at some point. But in addition to the training, I really enjoy producing programs as well. One program that I produce is called Meet the Mayor, where we interview the mayor of each of the cities that we serve. Another program that I'm really proud of, I came up with the idea, it's called Reaching Out. And for Reaching Out, we allow nonprofit organizations to come here to our studio and talk about what it is they do. Our lovely host is Elizabeth Curtis. She does a great job. And gosh, we've probably passed 100 or more nonprofit organizations through these doors to allow them to get their message out. That's something I'm really proud of. And another program that, for me personally, that's fun to produce is a show called Autofocus, because I love cars, and I try to go out to some car shows. museums, the Woodward Dream Cruise last year I shot video of, and I put together that program as well. It's called Autofocus. So I have a wide variety of interests and a wide variety of programs that I like to be part of.
I'm next. So, when you mentioned about one of the shows called Reaching Out, please explain to our program about that show and the help of the non-profit organizations.
Well, again, it's something I really enjoy doing. A few years ago, we would have nonprofit organizations approach us, and they're like, "How can we work with you?" And we had limited ways that they can get involved with public access. And so I said, you know what, we can't turn away these nonprofit organizations. We got to give them an opportunity to help them spread their message about what it is they do. So we started. It's about a 12 to 15 minute long segment where representatives of the nonprofit come in. Elizabeth, our host, talks to them and asks them questions, not only about their nonprofit, but any upcoming fundraisers or activities that they have planned. And it's been, I think, enormously successful. Those that have taken part in it seem to be happy with the responsibilities. We did a segment one time on an organization called Child Help USA, who is a place that people can go to if they suspect child abuse. So we did a segment with them, and the segment aired, and I contacted the president or the CEO of the company sometime later, and I said, "Have you gotten any response?" And he said that somebody who had called up to report a case of child abuse said they did so because they saw our segment on CMN. And that made me feel really good that, you know, somebody out there in the community benefited because of our efforts here. So that was a good feeling.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, Dan. Okay, when you're not working, what are some of the things that you like to do?
When I'm not working?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I have all kinds of interests. I love movies. I own probably over 300 DVDs at home. Love movies. Grew up in the movie theater. Growing up, that was a cheap form of entertainment for my family. You know, my mom would take us to the dollar show where we would see 2 or 3 movies back to back to back for $1. So I grew up practically in movie theaters. So I really enjoy movies. Occasionally I've done stand-up comedy. That's something I have enjoyed doing in the past. And I also collect diecast cars and things like that. That's a lot of fun. Being a fan of movies, I'm also a fan of cars from television and film. So famous cars like the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard, or the A-Team van, or the Back to the Future DeLorean time machine. I grew up with these cars, and I started collecting them a few years ago, and my collection's grown and grown and grown since then. So those are a few things that I do when I'm not working, but I enjoy working too.
You know, Joe, when you mentioned the car, about collecting cars, I was watching the Speed Channel one night. They brought Eleanor out. Eleanor.
Oh yes, that's right. It went up for auction, right?
And somebody bought it for a lot of money.
That's right. That was from the Nicolas Cage movie, Gone in 60
I have
Seconds.
at home. I love that movie. Love it.
That's right. I love that stuff.
So how did you start your collection of cars? Because I've seen your car collection.
Yeah.
And you have a few cars, particularly my favorite vehicle, the James Bond, the Aston Martin.
It should be.
That's your favorite? Yeah.
Yeah, I love James
I have
Bond.
so many favorites. I started collecting diecast cars, gosh, my website's about 6 years old now, so I probably started collecting about 8 to 10 years ago. And my initial goal was to create a display that held about, I think, 24 cars at the time. And once that got filled up, when friends and family would come over to visit, they'd see this display and they thought, wow, this is really great. And they'd try to name all the cars. So the collection expanded from 24 to 36 to 64 to 100, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So over the course of about 8 years or so, the collection grows, and it's been a lot of fun.
You have a question?
Yes, I do. What are the updates with you miniature cars do you collect from now? The new kinds.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm trying to think of what I just recently bought. When the movie Speed Racer came out about a year or so ago, a lot of Speed Racer cars were released into the stores. The Batmobile, believe it or not, the one from the original TV series, that only recently came out in stores within the last year or so, and it's been released in all different sizes, from what they call 1/87th, which is a really teeny tiny little car, to 1/18th, which is about this big. But I like collecting different variations of the Batmobile. The movie Cars, the Pixar movie Cars. You guys fans of that movie?
Yeah, I love that movie. Paul
yeah.
Newman
I'm
and
dying to see this.
I love that
Oh, it's a great movie. And over the last year or so, since the movie came out, company Mattel has released hundreds of characters from that movie as diecast cars, and I'm proud to say I own every single one of them so far.
So, I mean, they're making a sequel to that movie.
You're right. Cars 2 should be coming out, I think, in 2010 or something. Yeah.
Only 11, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoy the movie.
You know, Joe, speaking of vacation ones, I was at Universal Studios Hollywood in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was at in the movie Twister that I like so much. I was there when I checked Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's vehicles.
Oh, the truck from Twister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the truck, the big old Dodge
I
Ram.
like that saying from that part of the movie. Where's my truck?
That was a good saying.
I love that saying.
That's something I enjoy doing too. In addition to collecting the small ones, is occasionally I come across the real life replica, or not even replicas, but actual cars that were used in the film. Most recently, I was able to track down the pickup truck that was used in the Clint Eastwood movie Gran Torino.
I'm DeWitt Taylor, and we have a question for Saul.
I'm
So,
Mr.
how
Angus
would
Gray.
you
This is Darren
thought
Castle.
is to start your own website, and why?
Well, let's see. I started my own website about 6 years ago, and at the time I didn't know anything about starting a website, so I was just completely clueless. Luckily, I knew some people who had some experience doing it. My brother, for one, who at the time worked for Internet Crimes with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. There are two main things you need to do to start up a website. One is to purchase a domain name, which is the name of your website, like mine is HollywoodDiecast.com or CMNtv.org. You have to purchase that domain name. So you go to a place and you search to see what's available. As soon as you find something you like that's available, you need to purchase it right away. Otherwise, you might lose it to somebody else. Once you've purchased a domain name, you want to get a host or a server, somebody that you can upload your website to so that other people have access to it. So those were the first two things that I made sure to do when I decided I wanted to start my own website. The next thing was to find the right type of software that you would use to create your website. And there are different options out there. I ended up going with software called Microsoft Front Page, which is a PC-based software. I was surprised at how easy it was to allow me to create a website. I used a basic template, which was kind of a layout, something that I thought would be easy to use. And it took me about a week to upload the photos and information and stuff of various cars, things like that. It took me about a week to get it up and going. And once I got it up and going, I decided I wanted to track the visitors to my site. And I was completely shocked when I found out that I was getting close to 1,000 visitors a day to my website when I had it up and going. So it's amazing, first of all, how easy it was to set up and just how powerful a website can be. Imagine, like you guys do your show here, you reach about 140,000 possible cable subscribers. But when you start putting stuff online, the world becomes your audience, and that's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Question?
Yeah. What are some tips on starting your own website?
Well, those are the main things. The getting a domain name, getting a host. a good a piece of advice that I can give you is when it comes time to designing your own website, see what's out there that you like. Look at websites that you like to visit, and if you find that they're easy to navigate and if they're pleasing to the eye, then when you create your website, you can use that as a model and try and make your website look like someone else's website. That's what I did. I found that the websites that I like to visit, their homepage had recent news and events on the front page, and there were columns on the side that had different links and a banner at the top which described the website. And so that's the basic layout that I liked, and that's what I used to develop my website. And people seem to like it. It's easy to navigate. So, and that same piece of advice applies to when you want to produce a program here for CMN, is watch TV and see what you like. And what you like to watch on TV, then you could create something that's similar to that.
I not understand, because my dad and a church friend helped me build my own website for my business, t-shirt business.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite fun.
Yeah.
And now it's real. It's not real now.
Exactly. Yep. It's amazing.
Just go to www.dazzledewtime.com.
Great. Yeah.
How much is it to start a website?
It's very minimal now. Purchasing a domain name and getting a host is, only maybe $20 a year or $30 a year. It's not very expensive at all.
Cool.
The software that I used to develop my website was about $120 to buy the software. So to get my website up and going was probably well under $200. So, and because of sponsors and advertising on my website, I've made that money back multiple times. So,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, it's nice.
You want to have a question?
Thank you, Aaron. Are you gentlemen all done with the questions?
Why you got a question?
Yes, I do. I have two questions. All right, Joe. So, are you involved in the Woodward Dream Cruise this year?
I'm hoping to be there this year. Believe it or not, 2008 was my very first Woodward Dream Cruise I've ever went to.
Get out of town.
Really?
Yeah, I always had family events and things going on, and I always missed the Woodward Dream Cruise, despite being such a huge fan of the classic cars. So in 2008, I made sure to set aside some time to visit the Dream Cruise, and I spent about 3 to 4 hours in Ferndale at 9 Mile in Woodward,
See, I
and
grew
had a
up-
great time.
I grew up in Ferndale, but moved to Rochester in '96.
Yeah, do you go to the Dream Cruise on a regular
I
basis?
do.
It's fun, isn't it? I really enjoy the environment.
Yeah, we go together.
Yeah, oh yeah,
All three of us
Yeah.
go together.
in Ferndale.
Yeah, Ferndale. Where I look.
That's a great place to see it. Yep.
And the last time I took them to my old house. They like my old house.
Oh yeah.
Are guys?
Oh, yeah. How come we never saw you there?
Yeah, Joe.
Last year?
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. I was in the 9 Mile and Woodward area. Were you guys in the
day?
same area?
What
It
day?
was a Saturday morning. I spent from about probably 9 to noon, 10 to 1, somewhere around there.
Oh,
Me and Aaron go during the weekday and go get a bite at Dugan's.
Oh
Irish
yeah.
pub.
that's probably why we don't.
Dugan's.
Oh, that's,
Good burgers.
Please join before the show.
that's
Yeah.
why. That's why. That's probably why we never see you there.
Yeah. Well, that was my first time, so hopefully I'll see you guys there this year too.
Maybe.
Speaking of cars, guy, I have a big question.
Oh, yeah,
What
let's
is the favorite real car and why?
Well, that's a great question. There's so many out there that I really like, and there's a lot that I've seen in person, but probably my all-time favorite car is the Batmobile from the original TV series. I was born in 1966, and the Batman TV series premiered in 1966. And so the Batmobile was created in 1966. Yeah,
I
so
own a video line to prove
That
it.
was the other. Do you remember the song? What becomes of a broken heart?
Oh, yeah, that's
That
what
was
the
that same year?
Temptations made the second cover of the new songs.
Get ready.
Ready and
80-pound bag.
I got it too.
you guys are great at that. Yeah, I grew up with the Batmobile. I watched Batman in reruns on TV growing up. I saw it in person. It's kept at the Peterson Museum in Los Angeles, and I got to see the original Batmobile that was used on television.
My parents were married when we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
They were 25 then.
You know, Joe, I'll tell you something. My favorite car would have been, if I had to pick one favorite car, would have been Bill Paxton's Dodge Ram person, because that car, the movie, what happens in the movie at the end of the movie, and he got thrown in Dorothy with
Besides,
Dorothy.
for all the cars in the Dream Cruise, I go for the one was made in the movie when I was born, Christine.
Oh, Christine is a great one too.
Yeah.
That's a '57 Plymouth Fury.
That's my car.
That's
Favorite
right.
car is I like the
Okay, I thought it was
Eleanor car. I like every
Ruby
car.
is number 2.
Oh.
I like
Do you have a favorite, Aaron?
Not exactly. So I like the Batmobile
Yeah.
and in the Spider-Man car.
Yeah. Cool.
I think my favorite car would be the Batmobile and the fourth the Spider-Man one. So, what is your favorite restaurant, pop, favorite music, and movie?
All of them.
David.
When it comes to restaurants, I love Mexican food. So you name a Mexican restaurant, and I love going to eating Mexican food.
You do?
I love pop. Probably my favorite would be Faygo, maybe Rock and Rye or root beer. I love Faygo pop. What were some of the other ones there?
Favorite music?
Favorite music? Gosh, I love the old stuff like Sinatra and Dean Martin, but I love the new stuff too, like the Killers. So my musical tastes are all over the place. Favorite movie of all time? Probably Star Wars is my #1 favorite movie of all time.
The originals.
The very first one that came out in 1977. Yeah.
My mom took my brother Rick to the premiere of it.
Yeah.
That year.
That movie had an impact on me, and I was so fascinated with how the movie was made. That probably led to my career in video production too, because I loved the behind the scenes of it.
Oh, showed this to my brother Rick. Hey guys, 19 show. Orion, your pleasure, please.
I'll just read it. I'll just tell us all the time like I'm doing a newscast. How's that? Like a newscaster. My name is Ryan Nicholas Gray. Thank our guest today, Mr. Joe Johnson, telling us about his work, and his car hobby. We thank you for being a wonderful teacher, wonderful teaching skills, and especially about being our helper and friend. Joe, you've been a gentleman. You have been a friend to us.
And it's got off.
And we all thank you because you are. Gentlemen, guys, this man, Mr. Joe Johnson, is the greatest teacher. You come to CMN, I highly recommend you take this class. You will learn nonlinear editing, video production, and you'll learn all kinds of everything. CMNtv.org.
It's really, the classes are really, really fun.
Until then, everyone, goodbye. My friend David DeWitt Taylor, Mr. Aaron Castle, and Mr. Ryan Lucas Gray. What you're doing yours. Have a very safe and enjoyable July. Bye, everyone.